Yeah, thanks. First of all, I want to give my condolences and prayers to Coach Sean Clark and his family. He passed away yesterday at 50 years old. A brother in our coaching industry, former head coach at App State, had a stroke a couple weeks ago and passed away last night at 50 years old. Devastating. Praying for his wife Janelle and two kids, daughter in high school and a son in 8th grade. Coach Clark was awesome to me. Got to spend a lot of time with him when I was the head coach at Gardner-Webb and East Tennessee State, with Boone, North Carolina being so close and playing against those guys a couple times. And he coached my cousin. Just saddening news for the college football world today. So certainly thinking about her and what they're going through, I couldn't imagine. It made me tear up hugging my kids last night before they went to bed. But really good win for us Friday. Super pleased with our effort. Did not think we played our best. I think we have to play better. I think our goal right now is just to keep getting better each week. Played good enough to win the game. I was really proud of our 3rd down and 4th down conversions on both sides of the ball. We stopped them, got off the field. We didn't have to punt in the first half. I thought we dominated the lines of scrimmage. I think the biggest thing it did for our team tells us we can win on the road, we can win against good opponents, and we can win close games. And we need those 3 things because we're going to be in a lot of close games. And it was a great night. You know, everybody's told us how good we've been, or we are, for the last 24 hours, 48 hours. It was great to be able to watch football on Saturday and get a head start on Tulane. I was able to watch that game. But we brought our kids in yesterday, and I told them I don't want to hear about it anymore. We're on to Tulane. We're on to getting better. I showed them in a very fierce and heated team meeting that we got to play better. And we made a lot of mistakes in that game that are going to bite us if we continue to make them. And my challenge to our team and our players and our coaches is let's not make the same mistakes last week, this week, and let's clean stuff up. And if you're going to make a mistake, make a new one. We got to be better at scoring the ball in the high red zone. We talked about it for 3 weeks. It started with New Mexico State. We get the ball across the 50, and we're not scoring touchdowns. We're settling for field goals. Seth had a great night as a field goal kicker, and I thought, our punter was really good in the second half. Won the game running the football in the second half. Probably could have been more aggressive, but our defense was stoning them pretty good. So really didn't want to put our freshman quarterback in a position to lose the game. In hindsight, probably should have opened it up a little more in the fourth quarter. But, we had the lead, had a 2-score lead. We were going to ask them to go, they were going to have to go touchdown, 2-point conversion, touchdown, 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter, and I felt good about our defense. So ran the ball. Dom had 31 carries. Really proud of him. Honestly, you watch the game, we should have won by 14. We got to capitalize when we get in the red zone. We got to capitalize on other opponents' mistakes. Thing I was proud of is it wasn't a fluke. They didn't have 3 turnovers. They had 0 turnovers. They really didn't make many mistakes. We just beat them. Straight up beat them. And that's what I'm most proud of. Tulane's got a great football team. They're the best team we've played. They're complete. You look at teams and you think a lot of people have weaknesses. They don't have any. Quarterback's a terrific player, transfer from BYU they got late in the summer. O-line's really good. Receivers are fast. Running back's good. Their defense is really good. They got good D-line. The Mike linebacker's terrific. Sam Backer can cover the nickel. He's a really good player. The corner has several interceptions. They've already beat Northwestern and Duke. They got it rolling down there. And Coach Summerall is one of the best coaches in the country, and I'll be glad when he's not coaching in our league. But Coach Fritz did a great job getting that program turned around, and Coach Summerall's made them even better. So we got our hands full and excited for the week. Questions?
You had talked in your post-game radio show about wanting to check the phone. So how did that go after the game?
Yeah, I had 540 text messages, so it took me a long time. The whole bus ride home, I was responding to those. The cool thing is we play our next 4 games on national TV. We just played Oklahoma State on ESPN. We got ESPNU this week. ESPNU against Memphis, and then ESPN again, East Carolina. So our program is in an exposure window right now that we need to capitalize on. It's a great opportunity, in front of a national audience to prove to the world that tells what our brand looks like, what our brand of football looks like, how hard we play, And I'm excited to watch our guys do it. They're fired up.
How do you transition from the celebration of Friday night to preparing for Tulane?
Yeah, I mean, it's over. We had our day. It's a good thing about playing on Thursday or Friday. When you win, you get some more time to enjoy it. We enjoyed it. Yesterday we came in and hammered down. We cannot have a hangover from winning that game and think we've accomplished anything. Like I said, we didn't even play that good. We got to play better. We got to play better. And if we play like that, we're going to get beat the next 2 weeks. So we need to step up and score touchdowns. We need to stop the run. We need to do some things better. To be honest with you, I was not satisfied with how we played.
Beyond the enjoyment factor of the extra day, is there anything strategic about having one more day since you gave it up on the back end last week? Does it help at all? Does it help at all that they had a very difficult game they played? Do you think about things at all like that?
Yeah, I think it helps for a day of rest. And then we had a real practice last night. We practiced in helmets and spiders and cleats. Normally we do a Sunday night walkthrough because we're just kind of getting the lactic acid out of our system, and we had a real practice last night. So we gained a day on Tulane. We were able to game plan Saturday a little bit, and then Sunday afternoon team meeting, put the game to bed, and then we started on Tulane last night. So, yeah, we certainly gained a day, and you gain a day of rest. Like, that's a big deal.
At what point when you got here did you decide that Tulsa's team was going to be the slogan that you sort of wrapped things around?
Yeah, it's just, as I kind of got my feet wet here in the city and how big of a deal it could be if we got really good, and the support we could get from the city. Like, I know our alumni base is not huge, so it's very important for us to embrace the city of Tulsa. And, there's not an NFL team here. There's not, it's the Chiefs or the Cowboys. It's Oklahoma State or Oklahoma. I want people to take pride in the football being played in the 918, and I think it's important in recruiting. It's important in fundraising. We are the only show in town, and we have to embrace that. And you're either exposed, you have great exposure, or you get exposed, and that's a challenge for our team. And I think having Tulsa's team as a logo, recruiting local, embracing the 918, the more players we can get from this area, the better we're going to be.
How has that message resonated outside the program when you and your coaches go places?
I think it's been great. We haven't been recruiting this year because we hadn't had an off week yet. But, when we have an off week in 2 weeks, we'll be able to get on the road and see what the response is like. I think Friday night was big, just to be honest with you. I don't think many people were paying attention. They're like, oh, okay. Yeah, they kind of know what they're doing, and they got a chance to be pretty good. And it was kind of one of those moments in your coaching career or in a season or a program builder that you need one of those. Like, you need something good to happen. You need to win a game you're not supposed to win against an in-state rival. And kind of, the historical piece of it was interesting to me, like not having won there since 1951 and haven't beat Oklahoma State since 1998, and they've played 77 times. Like, that's where it resonates, I think, with more of the alumni and donors. I got a lot of texts like, hey, my granddad was on the 1951 team. I'm so happy you beat those guys. We get bragging rights for a year. There's just a lot of that kind of stuff that is sentimental. I don't want our players to think about it, but as the head coach, you have to think about it.
What went into the decision not to dress Kirk Francis, and what is his status going forward? Yeah,
he did not look great in practice last week, and pulled him in my office Thursday. I said, are you 100%? He said, no, not 100%. I said, okay, well, I'm not putting you at risk. And he really wanted to play. He was in tears, because Oklahoma State's important to him. It's in-state. They didn't recruit him, and he kind of wanted to play against him. I said, your heart's telling you one thing, your head's telling you the other. We got to make a smart decision here because we got 8 games left after this one, and then you got 2 more years to play against Oklahoma State. Like, you're going to get to play them again. So we'll see. He practiced last night, looked good. So we'll see where we go with the quarterback position. I haven't made my mind up yet. It's going to be hard not to play the freshman as good as he's playing right now, just to be honest. But Kirk's our captain. He's played well against Tulane in the past. The good thing is there's a lot of people in the country that don't have good quarterbacks. I mean, I watch college football. It's an epidemic. The points are down across the country. I don't think quarterback play is very good across the country, and we got two guys I believe in. And so we'll see which one we go with.
You mentioned, Flushing this previous game. You guys were in a similar situation a couple of weeks ago after winning your opener and then went on to lose the next game. Is there anything you learned from that experience that you're changing this week in terms of prep?
Not really. I think we're a different team now than we were then. I didn't know a whole lot about our team. I think we're starting to find out who our identity is. We're going to be able to run the football. We're going to be able to wear people out. We're going to be able to play harder and longer than people. After one game, I didn't know who we were. And by the way, Abilene Christian's rolling off some pretty good games. They've won two. They beat Austin Peay really bad yesterday. Austin Peay is a good program. They had 500 yards against TCU and lost 31-21. So that win's looking better and better by the week. They're ranked number 8 right now in FCS. So I'm feeling good about that one. We beat them pretty good. So, not going to change much to answer your question. We're going to go about our process the same each week and put our best foot forward.
Where do you see the biggest hurdle in you're able to move the ball to the plus side of the field but just not get in the end zone? What's the biggest thing that's not going right for you there?
Yeah, sometimes as a play caller, I've gotten conservative because it is 4-down territory. So you're like, you can literally run it 4 times and probably get the first down. We're throwing the ball in the end zone. Like, we're taking shots, and we've done it the back-to-back weeks. We're not making the plays down the field. We're probably missing just a one-on-one wide receiver that can go win a ball on the outside. We haven't had that. We haven't had just a freaky catch in the end zone all year. One of those one-on-one, go up and get one. We don't have that jump ball guy right now. We thought it was going to be Josh Smith. Thought it was going to be Mekhi Miller. And we're giving those guys opportunities, and we're not giving up on them. But we got to have some guys, step up in one-on-one situations. Like, we're going to push the ball to the end zone. Like the one with Presley the other night was beautiful. But it was a rub route, and we schemed it up to get a guy wide open in the high red. And we're going to continue to do that. But we also got to have some off-schedule plays where it's a jump ball. I watched the Auburn kid just dunk on Oklahoma twice on Saturday. Like, we need a wide out to emerge. Right now, the tight end right now has been the best target in the red zone, and that's great. We're going to throw it to him more. He had a great game. We need a wide out to emerge that can make those plays. We had 2 opportunities against Oklahoma State, dropped one and overthrew one.
You mentioned watching a little bit of the Tulane Ole Miss game on TV. Do you get some kind of advantage for it, or you just kind of watch it just to watch it?
I was just watching it. It was just to watch it. I needed a day off. It's been a tough 4 weeks and really working hard at it. And then just reevaluated the film Sunday morning and when I got in the office. And, we watched them. I was up here till late last night, till about 9 o'clock, and then got in early this morning, and we had a game plan meeting all morning about how we're going to attack them. But they're really good. And, they got a little bit unlucky in that Ole Miss game. Quarterback didn't play well. They didn't convert some 4th downs, and Ole Miss hit some deep balls on them. Other than that, it would have been closer than the score. But they beat Duke, good football team. They beat Northwestern, so they're more than capable.
You said before the season, it'll be 4 weeks before I know who we are, and you just kind of started to say you kind of know. What do you think you know completely at this point, and how much longer before you think you have a real grip?
Yeah, I'm starting to get there. I think our identity right now is play good defense, stop the run the football, play action pass. I think our quarterback can hurt you with his legs. The freshman can. Dom's obviously one of our best players. We're going to get Booker. Booker's 4th in the country in catches, so he's going to get his touches. We need an outside receiver to emerge for us to take the next step. But right now, that's who we are. We're going to run the rock. We're going to play great defense. We got a great kicker, great punter. Play good special teams game and get it to our gadget players and our playmakers on the perimeter when we need to. But we're going to wear you out and win the games how we need to win the games. But I'm starting to figure it out, yes.
One of the things we talked afterward the game was how Baylor moved to throw. Used his legs, but he moved to throw. What kind of growth did you see when you looked at that film? How big a step is that for him?
I thought he was really good in the pass game. I thought he was really poor in the run game. And first thing I told him yesterday when he walked in the building, I said, you ain't done nothing. You got to play better. That's the first thing I said. Trying to bring him back to reality, but also set the tone for our team. Like, okay, if coach is going to get onto the quarterback like that, he's setting the tone today. So we wanted to set the tone yesterday of, hey, we've accomplished nothing. We got to play better. If we don't get better week to week, I've failed you as a head coach. I didn't come here to beat Oklahoma State and be done. I didn't come here to win a bowl game and be done. For us to be champions, I mean, I'm talking conference champions in a great league, we got to get better week to week and year to year. Like, it's got to be strides. And if complacency sets in, that's on me, and I cannot allow that to happen.
If you can talk about the best things your defense does, and especially talk about Ray Coney, your player from last year. So he seems to be playing really well. So.
Yeah. D-line's terrific. Okay, I'll start there. They've been awesome. We have long corners, so we're making plays on 50-50 balls. I think Lento Smith's playing really well. Ray Coney obviously makes it. He's leading the country in tackles. So the first thing they do well is stop the run. Now, I know they gutted us on a couple long ones last week, but other than that, we got them in a lot of negative plays in the run game. So we stop the run, and then we have two edge guys, and Tim Hardiman and Nakai on the inside. Our D-line's pretty good. We see them in practice every day, and we haven't faced one better in 4 games than what we see in practice. They're good, and they can sack the quarterback. Jaden's got 5 sacks, BT's got 4. But what jumps off the tape is they play hard. Like, there is not a lot of loafing going on, and that's kind of what we talk about. The ultimate eraser is getting to the football. You're going to miss tackles. You're going to have some trick plays. Things are going to happen. Bad stuff's going to happen. They got coaches too. But our ultimate eraser is our effort, and how hard we play in practice sets the tone for that. And our defensive coordinator demands it, and I demand it as the head coach. And you're not going to play if you loaf, and you're going to get to the ball, and good things are going to happen.
Coach, you mentioned, you touched on this a little bit, 540 text messages. Can you kind of quantify? You know you're going to get a lot from your friends and from your coaching buddies and people that you know in the fraternity. Can you touch as to what the percentage might have been from former players that had an association with TU, that it meant something, and obviously you knew what it meant, but did it even fulfill your thought about what it really meant even more?
Yeah, for sure. Got a lot of texts from former players, people I've met, a lot of people I didn't even have their number. Just reached out, Coach, this is so-and-so. Thank you so much for getting that done. Great job. Watched the whole game on TV. Lovie Smith was fired up. Bob Babich, those guys that played here. And that kind of generation was real excited because they played those guys a lot, at Oklahoma State. And Zaven was fired up. Tyler Smith texted me. A lot of coaches across the industry, reached out because when you're in a hotel on Friday night, you're watching the game with your team because you're bored. So, that's pretty cool. All these coaches were watching the game, and we put it on our TVs in the team meeting or the team meal Friday night at the hotel. Whatever game's on, we have it on the projectors just so our guys can watch football. So I'm sure everybody was watching it, and there was a lot of good feedback from a lot of people that are associated with the university.
What's your process when you self-evaluate as a play caller? Can you walk us through what a little bit is like that for you after games? Yeah,
first thing you look at is rushes and completions. How many rush attempts do we have, and how many completions do we have? If that number's above 50, you got a good chance to win the game. Explosive plays, am I creating enough explosive plays? Is Coach Robbins creating enough explosive plays? And then situational football is huge. How are we on third down? I thought one thing we did a really good job of is tempoing into third downs because their pass rushers were good, and we were not going to allow them to sub and get fresh people on the field like everybody else has done for them. And we were going to do them a favor by letting them do that. So we tempoed into third and medium, tempoed into third and short, tempoed into third and long so that they couldn't get fresh people on the field and get their best pass rushers and their nickel stuff. We had the reverse to Jacob Emmers, which was a big play on the counter reverse. I thought was a good play call and good scheme. But you're looking at, situational football, rushes and completions. I really value completions as a play caller. Incompletions kill you because you're 2nd and 10 and the clock stopped. But if you're completing passes and you're rushing the football, our chunk plays are going to come. I truly believe that. We're averaging 420 yards a game and 24 first downs. Both of those are plenty good enough to win. But the point total right now is 20 per game. That's not good enough. That needs to be 28, 30. So we're missing that 10 points. again, that last game was a lot of 4-minute backed up in the fourth quarter, so I was going to run the ball and play good defense and punt. So could I have been aggressive? Yes. But there's a lot of stuff as the head coach when you got to see that. When I was just a play caller, you're just trying to score. When you're the head coach, you're trying to protect the defense, the punter, the punt team, the quarterback, the O-line. Like, there's a lot of thoughts that go in your head is, okay, how do I manage this game? How do I manage the clock? When do we use tempo? There's just a lot that goes into it. But self-evaluating, I look at completions and rushes. That needs to be a high number.
Percentage is around 63%, so a good solid number. Is there any other like advanced number that you look at? Do you look at the yards per play, points per play? How in depth do you
Points
go?
per drive is big. Like how many times you're getting the ball and how many points you're scoring. Last week we only had the ball 9 times, where New Mexico State, Abilene, and Navy we had it 11. So we had less possessions. But points per possession is a big number. Points per red zone entry is a big number. Because defense, it's a win for them if they force a field goal, right? So we count that as a win for our defense. So points per possession, points per red zone entry are big numbers for us. Explosive plays, we had 12, which is a big number. Oklahoma State had 4. So we won the explosive play by. We won the middle 8, which we got crushed in the week before. We scored right out of the half. We scripted our second half for the first time, which is, I have a 20-play script to start the game, and then we went with a 20-play script to start the second half. And Brad did a good job with that at halftime and before the game, and he had us in the right spots. So, I think just learning to work with a new staff, a new quarterback, a new team, and we're trying a lot of new stuff. I mean, we're going to do a walkthrough on Friday instead of a run-through, so our players are fresher. We're just trying to tweak everything. When you're new and you're trying to figure it all out, you're trying anything you can to play your best, and I thought we played a complete game last week. We got to play better, but a complete game.